volume up, showing Derek what his last episode
Cranking,
sounded like.
dude.
Yeah, my bad, guy.
I mean, it sounds good. I like it thumping. I like the intro song.
So
It's a badass song, man.
Yeah, shout out LaRue made it.
That's my boy.
Yeah, we reached out to like a audio engineer / like
Producer.
producer.
Master, yeah.
But he had some beats that he like we were looking through, and I was
Yeah.
like, do you have anything that nobody has, like something that we could use? Because I'm looking for like an intro outro. And he's like, I have this, and he like adjusted it on top of that, so like it's even more unique than the one he just originally showed us. So yeah, I like everybody seems to like the intro a lot.
It is a really good intro. Is there any way? Is it like a full song or? Is
No,
it
that
like
what you
45
just heard
seconds?
is the whole thing.
Oh,
And
that's disappointing.
Yeah, well, I mean, he originally made it for a whole song, and what you do is like you'll loop it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna know more about that than I will, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably at one point had an entire song full of it,
Yeah.
and then he just was like, "Well, I'll just cut this to pieces," because I'm sure it's like being a chef or something. Like you'll make a meal, and you're like, "Oh, that's a cool recipe. I don't really need it," and
But I like this one piece of it.
yeah, I
and
like
I'm
the idea of this side
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
So that might be like what he did, and he like figured out, yeah, I'm gonna keep that or something.
Yeah.
I know nothing of that world at all.
Dude, I didn't know anything about this until like I started this year really with the podcast.
Yeah.
As far as like, I never owned a camera before in my life.
Yeah.
I never owned a computer before in my life. I had a work laptop, but I never did anything but work stuff on it. So it's like I never did Word, Excel, or anything like that, even though my resume says I'm a fucking wizard at it. Like my resume says I'm like the best, bro. But
Oh man.
yeah, not the best at it. So,
I just recently found Venmo. I don't know how long that's been out.
I don't know either. I know Cash or PayPal has been out for a while, and then I guess Cash App
Yeah.
is like a hip thing that's been out for a few years.
It's like trying to take over Venmo.
Well, I have a horrible memory,
Okay.
and so I forget things all the time. And my old lady tells me to do stuff, and I'll try to remember it, but I'll forget it.
Yeah.
And one of the things is I have to, I'm supposed to give her some money here and there, and I always forget, and that'll just piss her off.
Yeah.
It'll just piss her right the fuck off. You
Yeah.
know? And now with this Venmo, now that I downloaded it, it's just so easy. I'm just like, she'll say, hey, don't forget that money. And I'll just send it right to her. And I'm like, well, that's an argument that I just bypassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Sometimes that
It makes it
technology
so
shit,
convenient.
it'll make it so much easier.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
it used to be so hard to do anything. Like, dude, and I know this sounds like a first world problem or whatever, but like the ATM I always go to now doesn't accept money into it anymore.
No.
So I'll have cash that I always used to deposit into the same ATM, and it's on my way home, but now it doesn't accept money anymore. You can only withdraw, and I'm
I
like,
actually
why
did
would they
that
change
for
that?
the first time the other day, too.
Really?
I don't think
Money
I've
in an
ever
ATM.
put money in into an ATM. I've always gone into the bank. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever put
I used
money
to do
into
that,
an
but I was like,
ATM.
dude, I don't have time to stand in these fucking lines and these people bitching about like, you got stamps or like quarters and I'm like,
let me
let me deal with this machine, dude. Like, I'll figure it out from there, but.
I got a funny story about a bank teller.
Okay.
Yeah. So it kind of goes into how much weight I lost because I used to weigh like 300 pounds.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go bounce back to it, but I mean, I basically lost 305 pounds, looked like a completely different person.
Yeah.
And when I went to go to cash a check at the bank that I've had for, forever, I rarely go, but I just went that one day. They wouldn't cash my check. They said that I wasn't who I said I was. I had my ID now. I was fat in my ID still, and I'm skinny, in real life. And
You had that check for that long?
Huh? No. The check I had was recent.
Oh, the ID. Sorry.
The
wow.
ID, yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck am I talking
I think
about?
the checks were only good for 90 days.
Yeah. Dude, I
305 pounds, 90 days? Whoa.
there's a loophole in that because like I worked at a golf course and I do not know if I cashed his check, but I was pretty sure I never didn't cash a check because like I'm fucking young and needed the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I found the check like years later, and I went to the bank and I was like, "Yo, I need this money because I still have the check. Like y'all would have took it or something." And they're like, "Okay."
It was like 5 years down the road or something.
Yeah, I mean it was only like $90, but I was like, dude, if I can get $90,
Yeah, that's free $90 right there.
I'll have an argument with
Fuck
you
yeah,
for
dude.
$90.
$1.27 is $1.27.
Yeah.
Right? That shit's going in my bank.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hell yeah. $90 can get you a fat sack.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna put this hat away because actually I forgot my company's name is on it, and we're gonna do this podcast. I can't put them in a bad light.
Eh,
Oh, you're fine.
whatever.
It's probably not picking up too well.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Are you
that's all
even
good.
in frame?
I don't
Is he?
know. I don't know.
You framed it.
I told you hit press record because I
And I
needed you
did.
to frame us.
And no, did I press
You didn't
record?
frame us at all,
I pressed
huh?
record.
How
Did I
about you jump up there? Thank you, big dog. Means
fine, I got it.
means a lot. Now is he complaining from across the street? Yeah. He got up and I swear to God, if you sit down. No, go ahead. Put your left arm up.
I can see my left arm moving.
All right. That's fine. I'll just do it in post. That's cool.
What's wrong?
No, it looks good now. We got to figure
why
out.
you
Like, I hate
complain
that you
so
can't put a
much.
lens on this and make it wider, but like,
Complain so much, man.
because I can.
Well,
Because why
I
not?
guess that's true.
So we got a couple dip boys.
I don't. Well,
He does a different type of dip.
Yeah, did
Like,
you do the
explain
pouches?
this, because I see
Yeah,
you do it all the
okay.
time, but like,
so
I don't.
I did dip in high school.
Yeah.
Like way, like I was doing fucking Copenhagen wintergreen and mint and shit. Like that was my shit. And then I smoked for a long time, and then I did the vaping thing forever when I stopped smoking.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to wean off the vape stuff. Like I don't buy vapes anymore, but I'm doing the like Zen nicotine pouches.
Yeah.
Just as like a nicotine to like wean off of, because they do these in 3 milligrams, and then they have a 0 milligram nicotine as well, just to kind of like take yourself off of it. But it's not like a dip in the way that you have to spit or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I can put a pouch in and not have to worry about it, but it's still some kind of nicotine.
You don't
know what I'm saying?
salivate at all or nothing like that?
No, I mean, I feel like it does kind of hit the same as like a dip does.
Yeah.
Right. So like when you put
But
it,
it's
in, you're
not
like,
bad to
"Oh."
swallow.
No, but you
Okay.
like that's what you're supposed. Yeah, you
Okay.
swallow them.
All right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it says on here somewhere, don't swallow it. But, but I mean, like, but when you swallow a dip, like when you're,
I mean,
you
no.
swallow a dip, you throw the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's it. But this shit's like, no, it's fucking. You're not gonna get.
Is there nobody out there that just swallows dip?
I'm sure there's people out there that think that shit is like very tasty.
I had no idea
that
that you
shit's
didn't
gnarly.
swallow
I
gum
don't know.
when
I mean,
was a
it hurts
kid.
you. It gives me like a bad case of the hiccups.
And your stomach will get
Oh, yeah.
fucking ripped. Dude.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
homie my homie, his favorite shit was a dip in the shower. Like a mint dip in the shower.
Yeah.
For some, like a hot shower, like a frosty ass dip, My homies used to put their shit in the fridge too. That was our move. Like a cold dip on a hot summer day.
Oh wow.
But, so like my
I'm learning
homie
all
would,
kinds of new
my
shit.
homie would always fucking put a dip in the shower. And he, one day we were hanging out at his house. And we're like, he gets in the shower, whatever, and all out of nowhere, we hear a slip in the shower and a loud thud. Okay, we're like, oh, he just slipped and fell in the shower. And then like 20 seconds later, we hear and we're like, what the fuck? And when he gets out of the shower, he goes, I slipped and fell, swallowed my dip, and threw up in the shower. And I was like, oh my god,
At least he was in
dude.
the shower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, it
Dude,
was the
I've seen
funniest thing.
this because I used to work on construction sites. People will dip and spit in water bottles
Yeah.
right next to somebody drinking like a Pepsi,
Mm.
and they won't even look. And the Pepsi's hot, so they don't even feel the temperature change even being an alert to them, and they'll just take a swig and
I
just
did that to my old lady the other day. She came at me real hard.
Yeah.
I was spitting in a beer bottle, and she's drinking the same beer, and her beer was cold. And she picked up my spit bottle and took a big old swig of it, and
Ooh, that should have ruined.
that was not a good day for me.
that'll
It was
change your
not a good
week.
day for me.
Oh yeah, that's more than just the day. I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was pissed for a couple. Yep,
Yeah.
you are correct. But see, I'm gone all day, and when I come home,
You're like, let that air out, dude.
yeah,
Take your
Give her-
anger out
give her
somewhere
8
else.
hours a
yeah,
day.
yeah, I'm gone all day, and I work and fix shit all day. So I mean,
You're like, go do jujitsu.
Yeah.
Go squeeze somebody to death.
Yeah.
she just started jujitsu recently in the last couple of months. You
Yeah.
know, I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and but she just started, and I'm real happy about it because she's starting to really get into it.
Yeah.
And she's really loving it, and I think it's making her
Come out of her shell.
come out of her shell a whole
Yeah.
lot. You know, she don't like people, and I don't like people a whole lot either.
Yeah.
But I like people more than her, and it's good for her. It's really good for her, and I'm real proud of her for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
right on,
awesome,
dude.
dude. I've noticed since she has started that, like, she is way more vocal than she ever was.
Yeah.
Not that I knew her before jiu-jitsu, but from the day she started to now. She's definitely like a standout now instead of like somebody that just blends in.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah, man. So I knew you, but I didn't know like when how do I say this? Like when I re-met you, I didn't know you were the same person I had met prior. Because dude used to be huge.
Yeah.
Like not like 700 pounds huge, but like you would not be able to recognize him.
Yeah.
I had titties, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
crazy.
Dude, I had
Like
titties.
big old-
Like I had big old man titties, and that wasn't just from eating improper and everything like that. I was on some medication a long time ago that actually gave me man titties. I had to work hard to get rid of them things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medication will keep them on.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I was a fat ass. No girl wanted to talk to me at all.
How long ago was this?
Oh man, so it's actually pretty recent. I lost.
I met you like 4 years ago. Like when you were white belt, I think I was still white belt, and it was like you were big, but you had already started losing weight. So
I lost a total of 130 pounds, and it took me. I lost about 40 pounds in about the first 2 or 3 years of starting all my journey in this, but I wasn't satisfied, and I had to decide what was the easiest thing on how to lose weight, because I was working out hard and everything, but what it was is my eating habits. I would come home and I'd drink like 3 fucking beers or something like that, and I'd eat a whole bunch of Cheetos and goddamn peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it just, the weight wouldn't go nowhere. And I drank Coca-Colas and Meliellas. Oh God, I fucking just love that shit. And I decided that I wasn't gonna drink all that garbage anymore. I just stopped drinking sodas altogether, and I've been very vigilant about drinking water with every meal and everything in between. And it took about 6 or 7 months, and I lost 90 pounds in that amount of time.
Damn.
I lost 90 pounds. It just, my parents thought I was on meth. Like, a lot of people thought I was on meth, and my teeth are already fucked up looking. So, I mean, it wasn't a far stretch.
they're like, we're just connecting the dots here, okay?
They're like,
Exactly.
hold on, man. I mean,
But no,
meth.
I mean, it was just, I had made that life decision that I didn't want to feel that way anymore. I didn't want to look like that anymore. You know, I've always, gosh, and this will come back when I start talking about, you know, how I came to be. But I mean, I grew up with nobody, with no friends, nobody. I had my parents, but that's a whole nother story in its own right. I had no friends. I had nobody that took time to just get to know me.
Yeah.
And some of that had to do with my upbringing, you know, because I was raised in the carnival. And then when all that ended, I went into the regular world, and I was just far more exposed to the world and mature in the regards of knowing things than these kids were.
Yeah.
And it got me in a lot of trouble, and it actually made me come off very weird, you know, because I would talk in a very adult way. I'd cuss and do all, and I would.
How old are you at this point?
I'm about 10 years old.
So you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And they're like, did you just say fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go to work after this. What are
my
y'all
mom,
doing?
when my daddy died and we stopped doing the carnival thing, my mom put me into a Christian academy. And I was in a Christian academy, but we lived in a small town called Glenville, Georgia. And there was population's about 6,000 at that time. It was a town where if you weren't born and raised there, you were almost immediately ostracized.
Yeah.
Now, my mom moved to that town because a lot of the carny people lived there, and she wanted to be close to people she knew. So she moved there, but when I started going to school there, it just was not. I didn't fit in at all. I was just totally different than them. I mean, I didn't do recess and PE and do math class and stuff like that. I didn't even go to school until I was about 10. My mom taught me how to read and write and do math all by herself. Yeah. And we would travel all through the Southeast during the summer and all the, you know, the months that they made money. And then during the wintertime, all the carnies that made money and everything, like my parents and, you know, and the other people, we would all go to the Bahamas We'd all go to the Bahamas, and my mom would sell jewelry over there. She would sell jewelry, and my dad would gamble at the casinos over there. And the whole time they were doing that, I was with a nanny. And it was a Bahamian lady. Her name was Wendy, and she had 11 kids. And she watched me, but I really hung out with those kids all the time. Mm-hmm. And those kids, they had their own hustle. They'd go out into the ocean, and they'd get all starfish and shells and everything, and they'd gut them and everything, and then they'd sell them to tourists. Mm-hmm. And so I was with them. I was just this tiny little white kid in the Bahamas walking around with this group of Bahamian people and learning the hustle from there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was with them all the time. And we'd come back, and eventually when that ended, I didn't stop being that way.
Yeah.
I've always been wild, and I'll say whatever I want to, and I'm very spontaneous. Yeah. And it's just I've just always been that way, and it didn't translate well to be a child like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't really good in my adult life too, but I just had to I had to adjust some things. I actually had to become responsible and stuff as an adult. Yeah. And then pretty much everyone likes how I am now as an adult.
Yeah.
But kids didn't like that shit.
So at like what age frame would you say you felt like you were getting bigger, or like were you always big and this is like the first time you've been small?
No. I was probably normal sized kid from the time I was born up until I was about 10 when my dad died.
Okay.
But I'm sure some of it was attributed to depression and my dad dying and just a stressful and living environment, because
and the lifestyle changed because you weren't touring anymore.
And my mama, God bless her, I love my mama so much. She did everything she could to make up for that. Anything that I wanted, she didn't want me to be sad. So, and one of the things that's a comfort is food.
Oh, dude.
And my mom would make me food and give me whatever I wanted. Mm-hmm. And that bred bad habits, and it got me. I started gaining weight.
Yeah.
And from the time I was 10 up until I was about 29 years old. Now, there was a time in between when I joined the military, I lost a lot of weight. But as soon as I got out of the military, I went, blew right back up. Yeah. Because I just had all those bad habits. So, yeah, I've been fat my pretty much.
Adult life?
Yeah, teenage up into adult life. Yeah, it's always been like that, man. Yeah.
What would you say was the thing that, like, clicked or, like, really made you stick to, like hey, man.
Plan, wanting to do it.
Well, so it was a couple of things. There's a couple of like things that happened. First off, I was in a relationship with a girl that it was just imploding on itself. Like it just was a bad relationship. She didn't want to be there. I wanted to be there, but she just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And
seems like a relationship.
Yeah. Well, we had a house and everything, and she was a teacher, and I'm an air conditioning technician. We were making decent money and stuff, but it just wasn't working out. And so we weren't being intimate or nothing like that. We'd barely hang out. We'd sleep in separate rooms and stuff like that. And so I was looking. Part of it was I was looking for something to do. Another thing was I was sitting down on my couch playing video games with my son, and I remember that the bottom part of my legs, while I was just sitting down, went numb. Just went numb. I just was like, well, I guess that's a thing now. And and that scared me a little bit because I was only 29 years old.
Yeah, that's happening to my dad right now. He's 55 or something, 52 or something.
That was another thing. And then another thing is that I had always told my mother and my stepfather and everyone who would listen to me that I always wanted to do mixed martial arts. I always did. And what changed it was, I'd always say I wanted to. I don't want to go back too far, but it went back to the point where I would tell people that I was an MMA fighter.
Oh,
yeah. I was one of those tap out shirt guys.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
And shit. Yeah.
Yeah, affliction and all that garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Just looking like a fucking busted can of biscuits telling people that. You know? So, I was telling people all that stuff. Well, then finally, I just was like, I've got to do something. And I started looking for a gym. And the first gym I found was the gym I decided to go to. And that was Rufus Sport in Foley.
Okay.
It was a tiny little gym.
How did you get from Georgia to here? Was there like something that happened?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry to cut you off there, but I was like,
no.
Okay,
Like so when I was in Georgia, when I got sent, I was a trouble kid. I was a trouble kid because I was wild, and my stepdad was a. You want me to start from the beginning a little bit, just so you get the full context?
I'm not even sure where the beginning is.
I'll start from when my dad died and my stepdad came into the picture.
Okay.
All right. So my mom met my stepdad, and he came in, and he's not a bad guy. Mm-hmm. He's an asshole. Yeah. But he's not a bad guy.
You can say that now because you're older and you realize
absolutely.
like what he was trying to do. Yeah.
I mean, he's a dick. Don't get me wrong. He's a dick.
But when you were a kid, you were like, fuck that dude. Yeah.
He come into my life, and he was a hardcore, like, just, you listen to me.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. He kept his word. He beat my ass all the time. But when he beat my ass, I was like, that don't make me not want to do it anymore. Yeah. I'm just going to keep doing it. I was so stubborn.
Yeah.
And it got to the point through school. I was a trouble kid in school, got kicked out of one school. My parents put me in another school, got kicked out of that one too. And finally my parents were like, you got to go. They sent me to this place called Youth Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a military boot camp for kids that are out of line.
Right.
I was not intimidated by that place, and eventually they kicked me out too. And they don't kick people out, but I made them kick me. I escaped from there and went, because it was in Fort Stewart, and it was right across the street. It was in barracks, like military barracks, but it was right across the street from real military army barracks. I ran across the street. I got cigarettes from the damn army folks, and I was smoking. I was just smoking them in front of the drill sergeants on my side and everything. And I just wouldn't. I didn't want to be there, so I made it a mission that I was gonna get kicked out.
Yeah.
Got kicked out of that sumbitch. My parents didn't want me at the house, so they found a place called Job Corps, and this place takes people from 16 to 25, and they try to teach you a trade. They give you the high school diploma if you want it. So I was like, all right, I'll go there. Well, it was probably the best place I've ever been in my entire life. Now, let me explain what Job Corps is. I already did a little bit, but Job Corps was kind of like, it was in Bristol, Tennessee, and it was like a college campus. Okay, they had 4 dorms, A through D, 1 female dorm, and then the rest were males. And there was I'd say about 200 students there at all times. I went there, and I was just not satisfied with how, nobody wanted to be my friend and everything. So when I went to Job Corps, nobody knew who the fuck I was. And I decided that I was going to make up my own identity.
Yeah. And
the first time someone started talking to me when I went to Job Corps, I started talking in an English accent. Yeah. You didn't expect it to go there, did you?
Huh?
No.
I started talking in an English accent. I told everybody that I was from England. And let me tell you something. I've got a pretty good English accent. Yeah. I actually tested it the other day, talking to my old lady, and it's still pretty there. Spot on.
How long did you keep this going for?
I kept it going the entire time I was there. I was there for 10 months, and I had everybody fooled. Or I thought I had everybody fooled. In my mind, nobody called
everybody
me on
knew.
it.
They're like, this meth head over here thinks he's English.
Yeah. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
So when I started talking in an English accent, people started wanting to be my friend.
I mean, I hate to tell you this, but people are going to want to hear it right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to give us something.
All right. Well, when you call me out on it, I'm not going to do it. It's just going to come out.
Okay.
It's just going to come out randomly, and you'll hear
it's
it, and then
happen.
everybody will get
it.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
So stay tuned.
Sure.
Yeah. So I get there, and everybody's wanting to be my friend and everything, and I enjoy that attention. I find out that I really like attention, and I get in with a group of it's like a goth group. Like I've never hung out with goth kids or anything like that, but they were like, they thought I was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
And they were all listening to fucking Disturbed, and they were singing it and everything by this picnic table and shit, talking about goddamn blood falling from the sky and shit. And I was like, I'll do what.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was like, hell yeah, I'm into it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't listen to rock and roll before then, but I sure as hell started listening to it then. And I went to Job Corps, and I was, I went to become a certified optician, which is a person that fixes eyeglasses and shit like that. I aced that shit. That was super easy. But that's not what made the place cool. I met these 4 people. And they may or may not have known that I was faking the English accent. I don't know. They know now because we're still friends. But they really were my friends. They looked after me. They made sure that nobody fucked with me.
Yeah.
They've been my friends for a long, long time, and they molded me into kind of what I am today. They showed me what caring about people is.
They
like.
civilized you.
A little bit, yeah. They sure did.
They
sure
housebroke him.
Yeah. And but I eventually, oh God, I'm gonna tell you this story. But I eventually graduated from Job Corps, but it was under weird pretenses. So it was about 10 months in, we were allowed to go on weekend pass. And we would all that would mean is that we would go into the city of Bristol. We'd get some old dude to buy some liquor, and then we'd get a hotel room and we'd get drunk, and then maybe we'd have premarital sex.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That might happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I lost my virginity in Job Corps, okay? So, I mean, that place...
yeah. Fucking putting in work out there,
I'm telling you. Irma Mendoza, this is for you.
Oh, shit. Job Corps. You mean hardcore, bro.
Yeah. So, we go to Weekend Pass, and there's like a group of us and everything, and... I mean, I guess, but nobody cared that everyone was just having sex around each other, except for me. I mean, I was kind of like the fifth wheel, but everyone, I was John.
Hey, who's the English guy in the corner not fucking anybody? Oh, yeah, he's just hanging out.
He just likes to watch.
He's just like hanging out. No, it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. But no, they didn't care. And I mean, I guess they did care. They had the covers on, and they would kind of be like, they would just kind of like be not conspicuous or anything, but they would just be slightly thrusting into
you
each
knew
other.
I was going to fuck.
Yeah, stuff like that. And but we all got fucking really drunk, and then when we all came back, there was a girl that was there, and she said that she had been raped. Yeah. And they asked, everyone was there. We all got called into the dean's office and everything like that, and they all questioned us one by one. Now, this wasn't the first time this girl had said this, and I am not down in like rape accusations or anything like that. I mean that, but people were a little skeptical, because I didn't say nothing. I mean, I think she may. I mean, it should have been 18 years ago, but I think maybe she had sex with somebody. But I mean, everyone was fucking everybody except for me.
Yeah.
I was just the guy just wanting to hang out with people. And in my mind, I was a young child. I'm like, I guess it may have woken up something in me, just be like voyeuristic and shit, watching people out. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like, anybody want to give me a camera? I could start filming some of this shit. I mean, I'm just hanging out.
So we go. So he questions everybody and everything, and he questions me, and he's like, John. He's like, so you tell me what happened. And I told him, I was like, sir, I don't think anything happened. All right. I was just saying we had some alcohol, we smoked some cigarettes, and so on and so forth. And I don't think anything bad happened. And then, by the end of it, we all got expelled, which means they sent us away. They gave us all of our graduation, all of our certificates and everything. They made us pass all of the tests. They wanted us to pass because they got paid for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm sure it helps them.
Thing,
yeah. And then they just shoot us all away. About 5 months later, my mom drove me back up to Bristol for graduation and everything. Didn't tell anybody that I was coming up there, and she demanded, and my parents were aware of the situation too. You know, I mean, I didn't get accused. I was just a witness there. Yeah. And it was just a big hoopla and everything. Yeah. When we pulled up, my mom was like, "You're gonna let my boy walk across the stage because he ain't walked across the stage nothing."
Yeah,
you know.
He ain't
and
never been on a stage.
I drove 6 hours. We're gonna do this. I graduate, and then my mom, after I graduate, tells me, "You still can't come back home. You gotta join the military."
Damn.
So I joined the military.
Right after that?
Right after that. I'm 17 years old. I'm 17 years old. I get my parents' permission because obviously they want me gone.
They're like, "No, please."
Yeah. And I go off to Chicago, Illinois, up to boot camp. And let me tell you something. I love that place. I loved it. For some reason, I don't mind people yelling at me all the time. I got yelled at my whole life, and I yell. So I mean, it's normal. And all you gotta do is exercise, and they leave you alone for the most part.
Yeah. So you got cool. So you were cool with the like actual military boot camp, but the like military school or whatever that you went to, the kids boot camp that you were at before, you were like, "Fuck that."
Yeah,
place,
because they were punishing you.
Yeah.
The way that they did things is that they kept punishing you, and they slowly gave you like little allowances of things. Like they give you a
little
radio.
freedoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got to the military, you had 2 weeks of hell.
Yeah.
And then it was normal. They treated you with respect as long as you treated them with respect.
Right.
You exercised, you did what they told you, you woke up when they told you to, and that was it. And I mean, I loved it. I was in there the whole fucking time. I got promoted in boot camp. I mean, it was a great place.
Was your shit, huh?
It was a great place. But then I went to the real military. And let me say this before I get into this. I had a horrible experience with the military, but that's not everybody's experience.
Yeah.
I got sent to they give you a wish list when you're in there, and you get to pick 3 different places where you potentially can go. I picked California so I could go to Japan. I also picked a place up in, I think it was near New York. I think there was a Navy base up there. And then I picked Norfolk, Virginia because it was close. My parents lived in Georgia at the time.
Yeah.
It was closer to them. Well, they sent my ass to Norfolk, Virginia. They sent my ass to Norfolk, Virginia, and they sent me on the Eisenhower, which is a carrier.
Right.
And this ship, it was like fate. When I got there, the ship was in dry dock. It had just gotten to where it was getting like this huge like maintenance done that was going to take several years to do.
Yeah.
They do all this stuff to the engines,
like repowered it and shit like that, or something.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know the specifics of it, but. Right. I got there, so I spent my entire enlistment in Newport News, Virginia.
I hear bad things about that place, honestly.
Newport News, Virginia. So
they write songs about this place.
So you go. So once you leave the ship, there's probably there's blocks and blocks of crack cocaine and hookers. And not the good kind of hookers. I'm talking about the bad kind. Yeah. The bad kind that have diseases and everything. And you have
lady boys.
I don't think there's no lady boys there.
No?
No. Those would probably be more tantalizing than the ones that were real women over there. I mean, I'm telling you.
Hey, man.
But you had to walk past them or walk through them to get to this one building that had, because they had like a
recreation place. Something. You're like batting them away. You're like, hold on, ladies.
Yeah, they're like grabbing at your pockets and shit.
Almost. I mean, they'd yell at you and they'd offer you stuff and stuff. You have to walk right past them because there was like a recreation area for the guys there.
I suck your dick for a hamburger.
Yeah. I spent about 3 years there, and then they actually got the ship back into the water, and then they towed it over to the Navy base, and then I spent the rest of my enlistment there.
Wow.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, and that sucked. And when I got out of the military, I went to Alabama because my parents had moved there. They didn't tell, and that's another fucked up thing. They didn't tell me they moved. They didn't tell me. So
you're like in Georgia, like at that old house. Like, where's everybody at?
You're like, it's wild. Nobody's been back at the house for days now.
No, I called her. I called her and I said, hey, I'm coming home. They're like, well, we live in Alabama now. And I was like, okay, can I have the address? Yeah, sure. Yeah. And I drove my truck, and that's how I ended up in Alabama.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then you went to Rufus Sport.
No. Then I stayed in Alabama for just a short while. The military didn't teach me no discipline.
Where in Alabama was this?
Mobile.
Oh, okay.
In Mobile.
Okay.
Didn't teach me no discipline, so I was still a fuck up. And I was still doing whatever I wanted.
And this is when you were, what, 23, 24, something like 22?
This is when I was 21.
21? Okay.
I was young. Young. Maybe even 20. Maybe right about to turn 21.
Okay.
I was in Mobile for probably about a year. Maybe a little less. And I was just a fuck up. I wouldn't stay at a job for no more than 3 months. I would always ask my mom for money or just take money from my mom, stuff like that. I couldn't keep in an apartment, couldn't keep a car. I was just a fucking degenerate.
Yeah.
And then I started getting involved in drugs. So I started doing like ecstasy, and I started doing cocaine a whole lot. And it just started to spiral out of that. I started going to clubs over in Mobile and just getting fucked up and staying up all night and everything. Yeah. Never went to jail. I mean, I never got caught with none of that shit. I got lucky with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then finally, I got kicked out of the place I was staying.
You're like, I had a bad experience in the military, but a great experience on drugs.
Man, Mobile for the drug guy.
Hey, man, I will tell you, drugs are horrible, but let me tell you, when you're on them...
But let me sell them to you real quick.
Listen, they're terrible.
The first time I ever did ecstasy, when it really hit me hard, I was in downtown Mobile, and all of a sudden... Lincoln Park's Breaking the Habit started coming and playing, and I was just fucking. I had never danced before. I was feeling myself, and I thought
he's fucking feeling it.
You could have swore that I thought I was the Black Swan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just looking eloquent as shit. I probably look like a spazoid.
You're like, is he over there humping a tree, and you're just like.
Yeah.
Drowning in my fear.
So I get kicked out of the place I'm staying, and my mom, like I said, God bless her, she don't want to give up on me. She gives me her van. She signs over her van to me, and she works out a deal with my cousin who lives in Texas. And she says, go to Texas. So I take my ass all the way to fucking Dallas, Texas. I drive over there.
Where there's more ecstasy and more cocaine.
A little bit more. There was a little bit more cocaine and ecstasy there. But then I met the mother of my children there. I have 2 kids, and
you're like, I had no idea I had 2 kids, but found out that when I got there.
Shout out Bristol, you know. Full circle, baby. Full circle, baby.
That's crazy.
So I get there and I meet this girl. Now I met her on a phone dating site where you just send messages. You hear a message, and you're like, hey, what's up? My name's this, and I'm from this. And
it's like a voicemail thing?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bro, this is like some throwback shit,
dude. This throwback shit. I had Metro PCS back then, too, man. Yeah. So she gives me her phone number, and she lives about 40 miles away in this small town outside of Dallas. Mm-hmm. And I start going and seeing her and everything. She gets pregnant. And I move in with her and her roommate. And she's about to give birth in about a month. Nothing real substantial happens that time other than her getting bigger and more pregnant. And we decide that we're going to leave and live with her parents. And they live in Mississippi. So I load her up and I start driving to Mississippi.
Load her up?
Yep, I load her up and drive her down to Mississippi. And we stay there for a while. And let me tell you, I'm not somebody to be admired because I've done some horrible shit. And one of the horrible things I done was I treated that woman pretty bad. And I didn't hit her or nothing like that. But I treated her like with a lot of disrespect. I was young and naive. And, the person I am now is ashamed of that person back then.
Yeah.
So we moved to Mississippi, and things weren't going well. And she had the baby, and I was trying to be a dad, but I don't think I was emotionally mature enough to be a dad, and I left her. I left her for this girl that I was working at this video game store this girl worked there, and I left her for her. And then that girl left me like 4 months later. And from there, I moved back to Alabama and lived my life as a fuck up for a little bit longer. And about the time I hit 29 years old, that's when, and my kids were, I mean, I'm telling you, like, I wasn't the best role model for my parents up until I was about 29 years old.
Yeah.
And I was 29 years old playing video games with my son. My legs got numb, and I decided I needed to change. And I just fucking found Rufus Sport and saw it, walked in, met Matt, met Tony, and the rest is history, man. I've started going every day. And that's what kind of ruined my relationship with, well, a little bit. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back with the relationship I was in.
Yeah.
Because I was going there all the time. I was addicted to it. I was so addicted to it and didn't spend no time with her. And that's a lesson that I had to learn as well, because I still want to go every day. But, you know, if I do that, I'm going to neglect my wife. Yeah. And she's going to she's going to be hurt by it, you know? Yeah. So it's a give and take. Yeah,
for
sure. Exactly.
You got to know when the line is drawn type thing, you know? Yeah. That's a hard lesson to learn too, to realize, like, damn, bro, sometimes that's too damn much, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's tough, bro.
But now, I mean, it's been because I was about to turn 30 when I started at that gym. So it's been about a little over 5 years now. And, I mean, I've got both of my kids with me now. My kids are 13 and 12. I'm living with a wonderful woman. I have an awesome job. Let me just name drop Baldwin Heating and Air real fast, because Baldwin Heating and Air is the best place I've ever worked. I worked there for 5 years, and my boss treats me like family.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. He treats me like family. He'll do absolutely anything for me.
Yeah.
And he does anything for my family. And he's just, man, I do anything for him. I look to him like a big brother, a brother that I never had, or kind of like a father figure in a way. He just has always looked out for me from day one. Yeah. And
there's not enough of that in the world, by the way. Like, I hate to talk about like where I work or whatnot, but there's just not enough building up in the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, why don't you know this, or why can't you be better at this? Like, but I could be, like, if you take care of your people will take care of you.
Exactly.
And it's way more prevalent in, like, smaller businesses. Exactly. Like, I assume that's not a chain of...
No, it's a family-owned business.
There you go. Yeah. So they're going to take care of their people because they know their people take care of them, and vice versa. But when a corporation gets so big, they're like, fuck it, we'll get another person if you don't like it.
He paid for me to go to generator school. He pays for all of my insurance, everything. He gives me a bonus. He gives all of us a bonus every year. He takes us all to eat at the end of every year and everything like that. He's very involved with the company. Yeah. You can't ask for somebody better, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. You know?
It's cool finding a small, and I think everybody should look for like a small local place to not necessarily work for, but to support.
Well, nobody even wants to work nowadays. You see everybody help wanted signs. Bro. Everyone's getting that unemployment,
dude.
From the government.
You ain't even gotta fucking tell me.
I don't want to get too political, but that's that forced socialism there,
dude. It's
but we ain't getting started on that,
dude.
We ain't getting started on that.
We don't really touch politics too much because we're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, we don't. But. Man, but no, I do know what I was saying is, like, whether it's, like I said, you don't have to necessarily work local or small, but supporting local and stuff like that when you have the opportunity, I feel like is like a big deal, because like that could mean the fucking world for that small local spot or whatever that's like a husband and wife trying to make their shit work. It's just like shit like, and then when you go in there and realize, oh, this is why you shop local or why you work local, because it's like you have these relationships with these people that you wouldn't have it at
it might cost a little bit more. And it might cost a little bit more, but you know what you pay for? You pay for, because if you buy it from that place and something goes wrong, those people will honor it. Because they are a small business.
They care about
They're very
that
personable. Shit.
Yeah.
My boss had to pay for ceilings of like multiple ceilings of a condominium, you know, because the sprinkler head went off one day while we were installing a unit.
Yeah.
He had to pay for all of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just what he's got to do.
I mean,
know?
it's like, you know, in a small town setting too, it's like, yeah, I got to see these people out. And if I fuck somebody over,
Yeah.
and in a small town, word travels fast, bro.
Yeah.
Quick. You know what I'm saying? So
Good
it's like,
or bad.
yeah, exactly. So like, and bad a lot faster than
Yeah.
good, because you can have something good, you know, like do good work or whatever, and it won't reach the right people. But you do one thing bad or whatever,
Oh yeah.
it'll
Especially
reach the right people
right now,
like that.
Yeah,
dude.
it's gonna be everywhere.
You know, so it's like, yeah, working in a small spot like that, it's like, yeah, you got to take care of your people.
So, I have a question that's been requested by DJ.
Okay.
So I'm putting all this on DJ.
All right.
But he told me to ask you about your dick implant.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
So,
Wait,
so just to tell you, like, my point of view from this, I'm thinking it has to do with weight loss. Am I off on this?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No. All right. So it was back when I was in Job Corps.
Okay.
Okay. I did skim over that.
Bristol?
But I'm glad
You're like, look,
Yeah,
I
but
couldn't
Bristol-
have raped anybody.
No.
I have no dick.
Yeah. Damn,
Um,
Bristol's
so-
making
so-
a comeback, dude.
So when we were in there, like those goth kids, there was a guy there. His name was Red, and he actually was he did piercings, and he pierced everybody and everything like that. And he had a kit and everything like that.
Yeah.
And he did some stuff to some genitalia and everything. And I asked him, I said, what can you get? And he told me about, you know, like this Prince Albert and stuff. And then he said, then you can put these actual implants in, and they were ball bearings. And I said, what do you have to do to have those installed? And he went over it, and I was like, how bad does it hurt? And he's like, it's pretty painful.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, let's do it.
How long did you actually think about it? Or was it within the same
30
conversation?
It was
seconds.
like within the same conversation. It was within the same conversation. And he did it that weekend. And he put 3 ball bearings in my penis.
Like on the top or the bottom?
On the sides.
Oh, wow.
2 on the sides and 1 right there at the top. And they were about that big.
Are they metal?
Yeah, man. Well, not
Really?
well, I mean, whatever the kind
It's
of
like surgical steel or
yeah,
yeah.
something
Okay.
like that. Like some whatever.
That's still harder than I thought could be in there without, like, your body.
Rejecting it.
Yeah, because I thought it had to be some sort of, like, not silicone, but something along the facts of, like, a harder.
Well, I think
not
even
rubber,
now,
but-
I mean, now it's like the chest implants or whatever.
Yeah,
you were
they'll
talking
get,
about.
like,
I
or
think those
horns
are
on their
all-
forehead.
Yeah.
That's more like what is it? I guess it's almost like Vaseline or something like that. They like inject into your forehead and then you make like a dimple out of it. But the stuff I've seen where it's like they put it under your skin is like a steel. Well, I mean, even think about, you know, knee replacements and shit.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be able to insert some kind of metal and whatever, your hip replacements or anything like
that's
that.
true.
You know,
Wow, I
so
don't-
like
Something that-
screws.
don't know
and
why I
shit.
didn't
that
even
the
think of
body
that,
doesn't
sorry.
reject.
Yeah.
But so the reason why people found out about it is that when I went to the Navy, I went to MEPS twice. The first time I got rejected because I had those implants, and they wouldn't let me go through.
But did they tell you that?
I didn't tell anybody until I went to MEPS.
No, I'm saying, like, when they were like, no, when they said, hey,
Yeah.
you're not going to pass here.
Because
Yeah.
of this.
Did they tell you why?
They told me because of the
Oh,
implants.
okay.
But how did they know? They, like, x-ray or
Well,
something?
no,
You get
no,
butt-ass
because you
naked.
could see these balls on the side of my dick.
I know,
And-
but
and
I've
they- and
been to
they did-
MEPS, but they
they-
never, like,
And
Yeah,
they
you get
they-
butt naked, dude.
They do the
I've been to MEPS.
Oh, okay.
I've done it.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, okay.
they do the whole thing where they stick their fingers in your ball sack and shit.
Yeah.
And everything, make you cough. Yeah.
So what were they like, hey, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. And I told them, and I didn't know any better. And
Why does it matter?
I don't know. Maybe that's something
You
that,
can't go because I don't get. Also, like, I've had this problem with the establishment, because, like, I've been denied because I've tried twice now, and they say no now because of my tattoos. So you're telling me if there's a fucking invasion, and we're being
Drafting.
no, hold on, if there's an invasion and fucking murderers everywhere and they're just killing people, no, can't do
I got
anything.
tattoos.
You see this? I
Tattoos.
can't help.
So
You're out of your fucking mind.
so that's not even the best part of the story, though.
And no, you can't do anything because you got balls in your dick.
Yeah.
What?
You got balls where they're not
So-
supposed to be.
So they tell my recruiters, and my recruiters are real disappointed and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'll just take them out.
You can take them out?
You can't just take them out.
Oh, okay. I was like, you got a fucking zipper on it or
No,
something?
you have to.
You're like, hold on.
You have to cut them out.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I went back to Job Corps. And no, I'm not bullshitting you, man. I'm not bullshitting you, man. I took a knife from the cafeteria. And I heated it up with a lighter and everything, and it was just a butter knife, but I went and I pulled the skin real tight around it, and I like that, and popped them out and let it heal. And then I told the recruiter that it was healed. Like, I took them out and they're healed and I'm ready to go, and they sent me back to MEPS. And I...
Now, how pissed would you have been, hold on, if they were like, no.
Wait, but so they're back in now?
No.
Okay.
No,
I was like,
but I
wait, you
can.
put 'em back
but
in?
I can, if you don't mind seeing penis, I can show you the scars.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're okay which way? You're like, yeah, let me check it out.
Well, dude, I mean, like, that's gnarly, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we cannot do it live on episode. Also,
but I can show you the scars. I can show you. There's like a little tiny circle where the scar.
Hey, I've seen a scar. I got it.
Yeah.
Just like,
dude,
what I'm more
fucking
fascinated
wild,
about,
bro.
not like that you did it. Now I'm more fascinated that you cut it out yourself. Like,
I told you that wasn't the best part of the story. That was the best part of the
yeah,
story.
to me that is the best part, because like, look, I've seen you fight, and I've seen like punishment and stuff you've taken. Like, dude, if you're willing to cut into your own dick, there's no
scared
fight
of this guy.
There's no fight.
Yep.
That if somebody's gonna be like, this dude's gonna take Conor out, and I'm like, bro, Conor will cut into his own dick, dude. This dude does not phase him.
Yeah, no, it doesn't scare him at all, I promise.
Like, I've seen you in the cage, and I'm like, dude, he's just not shaken, like, not like physically shaken, but you're not like mentally shaken, like, you're like prepared for whatever. And I know why, because you're serving your dick like a cake.
Yeah.
You're like, you want a slice? No. I'm cutting into it right now.
You know that there's like people in the world that like they cut their dicks and stuff. They like do they do that stuff all the time.
I mean, I'm aware, but I don't know that I've ever been this close.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I don't do it on a regular basis.
Here's the thing. You've probably been pretty close to them, but they don't tell you.
Dude, I've been so close to his scars before, because his dick has been on my face when we've rolled.
Exactly.
I mean, he didn't pull it out or anything, but like,
I mean, pretty much
I've never, like, I don't know.
Well, now you get it though.
Like,
now you're like, why? What? Yeah. How does he keep his mental so chill? It's
dude,
like,
also that makes me feel like, dude, you could totally get covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
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 How have you not done that?
Okay.
Like me, I'm a bitch now. Like, I just got some on my head finished a little bit.
Eyeball tattooed.
Dude.
So I'll tell you.
Is there anything pain-wise you're afraid of, where you're like, ooh, I don't want to do that?
Cutting into his dick again.
See, hold on. He has no response. See what I'm saying? He's cold-blooded.
Well, I mean, that just, it kind of, I mean, I am afraid of things, but I'm not, I'm only afraid of spiders and heights.
Respect.
Okay, so if a spider pushed you off a cliff,
that
you'd
would be
fucking,
the end of me.
You die before
done.
me. You're like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Spiders.
You see the spider?
If I fucking walk into a web, and it happens all the time because I fix air conditioners and shit, I walk into
That's
a
like
web.
the worst job to have with arachnophobia.
I'm like fucking goddamn Will Ferrell on Talladega Nights. I'm fucking
on
around,
fire.
I'm on fire. I'm all kinds of shit. I mean,
by the way, he likes our AC unit. He checked it out.
Yeah.
He opened the door.
Really?
I didn't show him where it was. He just went right to it. And
He was like, "Oh yeah,
what y'all got going on in here?"
Yeah. You got a gas furnace in there.
Yeah.
That thing will last about 30 years.
Well, the first one did too.
Exactly 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years, bro.
Those motherfuckers last forever.
Yeah, bro.
That's wild. So there's no physical pain that you're necessarily scared of, like maybe stabbing your eye or something on accident.
That's not true. Well, yeah, getting stabbed in the eye would probably worry me, but actual like pain, pain that happens on a normal basis, like, I don't like people to pinch me. That shit hurts.
Oh yeah.
But
that's different. That's inconvenient pain. I'm talking like, would you get the bottom of your foot tattooed?
I mean, yeah, but no one would ever see it.
Yeah.
Did I have tattoos nobody's ever seen?
That's not true.
That's not true. But like a majority of people have, right? Right?
I mean,
right?
You need me to bring up the group chat?
Okay. So like, I have tattoos that a lot of people have seen, but like some people I haven't seen. Some.
Yeah.
But God, that just makes me
That's
fascinated.
crazy,
Like,
dude.
hey, can I stab you?
No, I mean,
You down to get stabbed for the podcast?
No.
He's
I
just
would-
like,
no.
this is fine.
no, it's fine.
That above out.
Everything's fine.
No.
Man,
no,
that's
but,
crazy.
But I mean, pain is. I mean, it's not like it don't hurt. I mean, I feel it. And when you talk about like I take a lot of punishment and I can take a lot of punishment in my fights and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't get real shook by it. Man, I tell you, like I said earlier before we started, I'd never been in a fight before my entire life before I started.
I
this.
think is beneficial because, like, to like caveat it to like kids playing football too young, so your brain's not developed. So you never took a shot till you were like a fully developed adult. I assume you never got knocked out.
So you don't
when
have
you were
the
a kid.
trauma from when you were younger.
So your brain and everything is fully stable.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you're not gonna get brain damage from doing it now, but like
I actually went to the doctor and had some brain scans done.
Yeah, how's
recently.
it looking?
Oh, I'll tell you okay, this is a funny story too. The doctor told me, he said, your brain looks healthy, your MRIs look great, and he said your brain waves are a little weird. And he said, but I'm gonna tell you,
that dick though. What's up with that?
No,
You're like, so I've heard stories.
he said, but I'm gonna tell you because you told me you did MMA. He said, I think you might have the beginning stages of CTE.
Did he really?
Yeah, and
I thought they can't detect that until you're over.
bingo.
Yeah, until it hits, right?
Well, until you're dead, they can't even diagnose it because they have to cut your brain open like rabies.
But maybe it's like a new technology.
I don't think
Really?
so. I just don't think that motherfucker was doing his job. I think he saw because look. So I got a horrible memory. I've always had a horrible memory.
Yeah.
I can't remember like if I leave my fucking glasses right here, I might walk right past them and forget them. And I do that on a constant basis. Now, memories like big things like what I've been telling y'all, I can remember almost vividly.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get a hold of because it affects me at my work. I forget paperwork and I forget to do it on time and things like that. And so I went to the doctor to see if maybe there was something neurologically wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because I've had it my whole life. And I told him that. Well, I shouldn't have told him that I did MMA because then maybe he would have took it a little bit more serious. But I think he just hopped right on that fucking
He just
bandwagon.
was like,
oh,
And I was like, well, thank you. That's $450 I'll never get back.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go I am going to get a second opinion. My old lady is demanding I get a second opinion. And I agree with her before I fight again.
Yeah.
Just go from there.
Also, we don't have a lot of time, but I want
Oh,
you to
shit.
go over your fucking street beefs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he just went to street beefs like a month ago now.
fuck.
Yeah. About a month.
Holy shit.
May the 30th or some shit.
It's
Or
on
May the
YouTube,
2nd.
too.
Yeah, it was like May the 2nd or
fuck?
some shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
First off, before I give you this story, how much time we got?
Like 10 minutes.
Okay, good. That's perfect. All right. First off, I want to give a shout out to my number one fan. He found me after that Street Beefs fight. Steve, man, I love you, man. Thanks for all the support.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Street Beefs, man. So I've been in part of that group for about a year now.
Yeah.
And me and the wife, we decided that we were going to drive up there on a vacation, but I was going to fight there. So we drove up there in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm telling you, when it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, there's this trailer park in the middle of a valley of a mountain. And in the middle of this damn trailer park, there is a cage. There's a fucking, like a UFC cage, but makeshift. And there's a big-ass group of people. We get there, and I start doing the sign-up, and they're looking for people to fight this one guy. And his fight name is Showtime. But his real name is Josh Tingler. Mm. And nobody wanted to fight him. And I found out later why. But nobody wanted to fight him. They got a couple of guys and they're like, no, I don't want to. And I was like, I will. I'll fight him. And they're like, how much do you weigh? And at that time, I weighed about 177. And I was like, I weigh about 185. I lied because I knew that dude was big.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, he weighs about 200. And I was like, that's fine. He's like, what's your experience? And I told him my experience. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, man, it's whatever. I don't care. And they're like, all right, you're going to fight him. So I'm standing. I guess he doesn't see me or something. And he finds out that, he's got an opponent. And someone tells him that I'm his opponent. And I'm just kind of sitting there doing my own work. But I can hear really well. And I hear him talking, and his buddies tell him, "Oh, he better pray. He better pray." Cause and I'll tell you why later. Well, then the fight starts, and he already kind of pissed me off because when he said pray, he was talking a little shit, and everything. And I'm like, all right. Well, when I fight, I am just one direction, straight forward, and I don't give a shit. I don't care what's happening. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And we started fighting, and I just started digging into him. And he is a really good boxer. He's a really good boxer. Threw a lot of power shots, but everything he threw, I laughed at him and just kept coming at him. Mm-hmm. And he got pissed. He was so pissed. He was cussing me during the fight. I was cussing him. I was telling him his dick was small and he drove a big truck. All kinds of
not
stuff.
Like that.
Yeah.
That didn't go over well, no.
It did not. And at the end of the fight, they gave him the decision, rightfully so. He did well. I didn't throw enough.
Yeah.
And everything. And I'm just gonna tell you right now. I want a rematch with that motherfucker. I really do. I've been calling for it on that group and everything, and maybe your podcast is gonna give me a little bit more clout in that sense, because he can be beat, and I think he's kind of a bitch.
Because his dick is small and his truck is big.
Yeah, man, he's got one of them trucks that are leaned back like that.
The Carolina squats.
Oh
dude.
my God,
we got one of those motherfuckers down here, dude. Yeah. Like the light up wheels and everything. It's like
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great experience. I met the owner of the whole organization, the same Scarface and everything, and he wants me to fight for BLK Prime in September. So I've been training with RJ recently because RJ Summerlin, he's going to teach me how to punch real hard. He already is. Yeah, I ain't trying to change my style. I just want to learn how to punch people hard. Yeah. I ain't never been taught how to. I've been
doing it.
Seeing it in movies and was like, this is how it works, I've had 24 fights and I ain't never knocked out nobody. I probably couldn't knock out a fucking baby. Last year, but I bet I'll knock that son of a bitch out now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, I know a baby that's been talking some mad shit.
Yeah. Right up the road.
Like just Goo Gaga and all that. I'm like, you really want to say that?
I mean,
that's wild. You talking, dude? He cut his own dick. You want to talk to him?
You know this dude?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Wild,
you don't want to fuck with me.
Fuck, man. That's all, dude. That's tight. So you're gonna try and do the BLK shit soon? Is that what?
Yeah, that's supposed to be in September.
Okay.
Cool. And the show in Showtime, old Josh, he's supposed to fight this guy this coming up weekend on Saturday, and I think he's gonna beat that guy, and I want to fight him because he's knocked everybody else he's fought except for me, and I want to fight him. And I want 6 rounds of just hard. I want to take it to its peak, man.
Yeah,
I want to take it to its peak, and I just want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see it just leave his eyes, all the motivation and everything.
Yeah,
because there ain't a fucking ounce of fear in my heart.
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah, dude. That would be so sick.
Bro. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The video that we had has about 50,000 views on it already, man. The rematch could be huge
for sure.
Yeah, dude. Huge, man.
Damn.
Right, and you share this and get them talking about it.
Fuck
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm
and
we'll do the
same damn
it's
thing.
On YouTube. It'll be on YouTube.
Is the guy's name?
His name is his fight name is Showtime, but his real name is Josh Tingler.
Oh wow, he really putting it out there, Josh Tingler.
Yeah, he's from Baltimore. Now I ain't got nothing against people from Baltimore, but that dude right there, man.
Not a fan.
He's an asshole. He's just an asshole. I mean, I want to beat his ass up, and I just couldn't punch him hard enough to do it last time. But RJ's got me right now, and we're gonna fucking start knocking people out.
Yeah, dude.
Campaign to take down Showtime.
Yeah,
there it is, dude. All right, well, dude, I think we're gonna wrap this rig up. Yeah.
Needless to say, this is gonna be like a to be continued episode.
Yeah, man. Y'all have me over anytime, man.
Fuck yeah,
I'll ride the bike over here, man. It was a fun ride.
Good.
Hell yeah.
I can't
I'm
wear my
glad.
sunglasses back home. I have these big ass fucking goggles that I have to wear.
Yeah, dude. Hell
Oh
yeah.
Lord, dude.
Fuck yeah. Before we get out of here, do you have anything you want to plug? I mean, I know you talked about fights, but any kind of.
Yeah. I want to plug Panacea BJJ, man. Those guys, Tony Rayburn, man, that's my brother, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's my best friend. I want to plug my wife, Caitlin. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. My kids, Kale and Kinsley, man, y'all are assholes, but I love y'all. And to my mama, thanks for never turning your back on me.
Hell
Hell
That's
yeah.
pretty
yeah,
much
dude.
it.
Fuck yeah, man.
Kind
I
words
love
from a
that shit, dude.
deep
love it.
soul, bro.
Hell yeah. Well, we're gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank y'all
We
so
appreciate
much.
you coming.
Yes,
For real.
yes.
Thank you. So we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. Yee. Yee.
We love you.